Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I am Tatiana Indina. I am a CEO and founder of Mission to Mars Academy, a Silicon Valley based accelerator that helps global startups and corporations to create innovation and empowers them with top level expertise and resources from Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is a magical place. It's a place where innovation happens. It is a land of unicorns and technology revolutions. It is a place where the future is being created in the heads of genius scientists and engineers, where ideas are being transformed into successful futuristic companies, where world's most loved technology products are being created, where disruptive trends are born, and where everything is possible. Silicon Valley has always been known as an epicenter of startup world, a place where it is easier than anywhere else to create a successful company. Silicon Valley is a unique ecosystem with lots of smart people, innovative infrastructure, and desire to create change. Today at your Discovering Silicon Valley webinar, you will take a look at behind the scenes of world's #1 ecosystem of innovation and learn about its unique phenomenon and secret sauce of innovation. It is your chance to decode a highly functioning and successful ecosystem that creates and nurtures innovation like nowhere else. It is a wonderful mix of inspiring people, culture, ideas, mindsets, stories, hopes, and dreams about a better future for all. At Mission to Mars Academy, we help global leaders to get future ready and to build better future for their teams, companies, and their countries. We host inspirational discovery tours in Silicon Valley, where you meet the most innovative companies and learn how they build their innovative products and innovative culture. At Mission to Mars, we help global entrepreneurs raise funding from Silicon Valley investors. We connect them with mentors and peer entrepreneurs. We run a number of online acceleration programs in which you can get access to all Silicon Valley resources without even leaving your office or your home. Today, you will learn about the secret sauce of Silicon Valley innovation that so many countries are trying to replicate and build their own ecosystems of innovation. What is important to understand is that Silicon Valley was not designed by anyone. It just happened as a result of coexistence of multiple factors. What are they? We will be discovering in this course today. Silicon Valley as a geography. First of all, we must demystify that there is no such geographic region as Silicon Valley. It just doesn't exist. The real official name of this region is San Francisco Bay Area. That's how locals call it. And the rest of the world, however, knows this place by its nickname, Silicon Valley. That was given to this region by a New York journalist, Don Hoefler, who first used it in the article Silicon Valley USA in 1971, in his issue of the weekly trade newspaper Electronic News. The term gained widespread use in the early 1980s at the time of the introduction of the IBM PC and the numerous related hardware and software products to the consumer market. The word silicon in the name originally referred to the large number of innovators and manufacturers in the region specializing in silicon-based transistors. Today, Silicon Valley maintains its reputation of the global epicenter of tech innovation, a home and headquarters of multi-billion-dollar tech giants and hundreds of thousands of global tech startups. Today, Silicon Valley represents a constellation of world's most talented tech entrepreneurs, passionate to disrupt the world with their futuristic, game-changing inventions. Silicon Valley is the most influential ecosystem in the world today. Companies like Google, Facebook, Apple, Tesla, Lockheed Martin, and recently Uber, Airbnb, Lyft, WeWork, and many others continue making Silicon Valley what it is. Every year, over 55.8 million tourists come to Silicon Valley to learn about tech innovation from local companies. They pitch their startups to investors, establish local businesses or partnerships, invest in potential future unicorns. Countries from all over the world, Israel, Dubai, China, Russia, Europe, are trying to replicate the innovative ecosystem of Silicon Valley to compete in its technology innovation. Geography-wise, Silicon Valley is a relatively small region in the southern part of San Francisco Bay Area in Northern California, of 80 plus miles between San Francisco and San Jose, that includes a conglomerate of a number of small cities: Palo Alto, Mountain View, Santa Clara, San Jose, San Carlos, Cupertino, Menlo Park, Redwood City, San Mateo, and so on. Silicon Valley is also famous for its astronomical real estate prices and really bad traffic. Now let's speak about how it all started, the history of Silicon Valley. Among the founding fathers of Silicon Valley, we can distinguish two main names. One of them is William Shockley. William Shockley was the man who first brought silicon to Silicon Valley. A brilliant physicist, he took the risk of hiring a team of young, bright scientists. In his lab, he assembled to focus using silicon as a key material of the company's transistor production. William Shockley's semiconductor laboratory was established in 1956 in Mountain View. According to many records, this marks the origin of Silicon Valley. However, after a year after lab opened, Shockley's whole team left, rebelling against his bad management style. His employees, Robert Noyce, Gordon Moore, and 6 others, left to start a Fairchild Semiconductor. They managed to raise outside funding, and that marked one of the earliest venture deals of that time. Fairchild Semiconductor became a success story. The company became a producer of integrated circuit, which fueled growth of computing in the region. Noyce and Moore later created their own startup, Intel. Almost all today's well-known brands of Silicon Valley, Apple, Cisco, are in some way tied to these early processor innovations of Fairchild Semiconductors. Later established first software companies like Google, Yahoo, eBay are also standing on the shoulders of those early hardware giants. Some historians, however, will argue that electronics industry already existed in San Francisco Bay Area before Shockley since early 1900s. That was the time when the first communities of radio electronics enthusiasts started to appear in Silicon Valley. One of the reasons why Bay Area attracted a great number of radio engineers and tech enthusiasts can be that San Francisco Bay is a port, and the Navy always had a focus to use technology for communication between ships. One of the early radio electronic companies in the region was Federal Telegraph. The Great Depression of 1930s ignited the effort of tech entrepreneurs to find application for their skills and talents, and that stimulated fierce competition, but also communication and sharing between people and companies. Another person who played a key role in the birth of Silicon Valley was Professor Fred Terman, who started and nurtured the network of collaborations between Stanford students and tech entrepreneurs. He encouraged the school to lease land to first startups and technology companies, so the university could benefit from having closer connections with the industry. By 1977, around 75 companies were located at Stanford Industrial Park, renamed into Stanford Research Park in 1970s. It was him, Fred Terman, who encouraged Stanford students Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard to start their own venture, today known as Hewlett-Packard. Hewlett-Packard Garage can still be found in Silicon Valley in Palo Alto. It is not open for tourists, but company still holds business meetings and corporate events in this garage. One of the most important elements of Silicon Valley innovation secret sauce are science, education, and talent. And those important resources were produced by two main scientific and educational institutions of Silicon Valley. The most important stakeholders of innovative ecosystem, Stanford University and University of California, Berkeley. Stanford University, its affiliates and graduates have played a major role in the development of Silicon Valley area. The university was founded in 1885 by Leland and Jane Stanford in memory of their only child, Leland Stanford Jr., who had died of typhoid fever at the age of 15. Stanford was a U.S. Senator and the former governor of California who made his fortune as a railroad tycoon. To commemorate the tragic death of their son, Stanford family made Stanford University to be a home of many bright students from all over the world. Stanford owned large territory in Palo Alto. The school admitted its first students in October 1891. Stanford University has struggled financially after the death of Leland Stanford in 1893, and again after much of the campus was damaged by the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. Following World War II, Provost Frederick Terman supported faculty and graduates entrepreneurs by building a self-sufficient local industry that would later be known as Silicon Valley. Stanford continued to encourage and support entrepreneurs. Stanford University is particularly noted for its entrepreneurship and one of the most successful universities in attracting funding for startups. The university is also one of the top fundraising institutions in the country, becoming the first school to raise more than $1 billion in a year. The university is organized around 3 traditional schools consisting of 40 academic departments. They focus on graduate programs in law, medicine, education, and business. Among Stanford students and alumni are over 270 Olympic medalists, 83 Nobel laureates, 30 living billionaires, and 70 astronauts. Stanford alumni have founded numerous companies which combined produced more than $2.7 trillion of the annual revenue and created over 5 million jobs. Having so many technology businesses so close to the campus allows Stanford University to develop impactful collaborations between academia and business sector. Today, Stanford University has a competitive academic culture and access to the world-class investors and entrepreneurs through their alumni network. Stanford is without doubt a major academic knowledge force behind the success of Silicon Valley. One of the remarkable local players in the 70s was PARC, Palo Alto Research Center, formerly Xerox PARC, is a research and development company in Palo Alto formed in 1970 as a subsidiary of Xerox, and it was tasked with creating computer technology-related products and hardware systems. Xerox PARC has been in large part responsible for such developments as laser printing, Ethernet, the modern personal computer, graphical user interface, the desktop paradigm. PARC's people and their inventions led to the formation of Adobe, and their technologies further enabled Cisco, Apple, and Microsoft. Core Xerox's mission with PARC was the development of the office of the future. Some sources say Steve Jobs got his inspiration for creating Apple Macintosh computer from visiting PARC. Silicon Valley ecosystem and its major players. We have already spoken about Stanford as the catalyzer of Silicon Valley innovation. Another important center of science and education in Silicon Valley is University of California, Berkeley. University of California, Berkeley is a public research university in Berkeley, California. It is famous for having strong and world's most known scientific schools and research laboratories that conduct a great amount of research and academic work, also done by numerous academic schools, faculty, and students. Among Berkeley faculty and alumni are over 100 Nobel laureates, 19 Pulitzer Prizes, and 207 Olympic medalists. In 1930, University of Berkeley scientist Ernest Lawrence invented the cyclotron at Berkeley, based on which UC Berkeley researchers, along with Berkeley Lab, have discovered a co-discovered 16 chemical elements of the periodic table of chemical elements, more than any other university in the world. During the 1940s, Berkeley physicist Oppenheimer led the Manhattan Project to create the first atomic bomb. In the 1960s, Berkeley was particularly noted for the free speech movement as well as the anti-Vietnam War movement led by its scientists. In the 21st century, Berkeley has become one of the leading universities in producing entrepreneurs, an alumni that founded multiple companies worldwide. Berkeley has been consistently cited as one of the 6 most prestigious universities in the world by Times Higher Education World Reputation Rankings. The role of government. One of the other factors that historically contributed to development and growth of Silicon Valley was American government. As the country government had policies that promoted creation of new businesses and factories, as their labor unions were as powerful as the ones in San Francisco. Following the launch of Sputnik by Russia in 1957, the U.S. government provided significant funding to Fairchild Semiconductor to develop technology that was used in the U.S. satellite and space programs. Some of the projects of Stanford Research Institute were receiving funding from NASA and ARPA, Advanced Research Projects Agency, one of the projects of which was ARPANET, the pro-ancestor of today's Internet. In the early days of Silicon Valley, U.S. government was the primary source of funding for many corporations and universities through military contracts. Government was developing first hardware systems and semiconductor chips. After the Internet was opened for commercial businesses in 1995, many startups including eBay and Amazon were founded. Government in Silicon Valley is not the main stakeholder, however. It doesn't interfere with innovation creation. It does not define any focus for tech innovation. It's market forces, but not government, determine which companies will succeed and which will fail, and which innovation will get commercialized. However, many governments of other countries are present today in the Silicon Valley ecosystem, as they have their Silicon Valley offices and hubs that help them connect with this innovative ecosystem. Probably the most important player of Silicon Valley ecosystem of innovation are technology corporations. Silicon Valley companies are one of the most active acquirers of startups worldwide. Apple, Oracle, Facebook, Yahoo, Google bought together over 80 companies. The market valuation of the private companies in Silicon Valley is 2 to 10 times higher than anywhere else in the world. Among the world's most well-known large technology giants of Silicon Valley are Google, Apple, Facebook, Intel, Microsoft, SAP, Amazon, eBay, Salesforce, and many others. You probably have heard a lot about the innovative products of those companies already. Today, Silicon Valley corporate giants are in the race with startups for the next big innovation. The only way for a large company today to survive is to constantly change and to be agile like a startup. So today, the easiest ways for corporations to create innovation is to become like startups. To work together with startups, this can be done via innovation labs or university research centers in Silicon Valley, or to invest in startups, or to buy or acquire startups, or simply grow its own startups internally. To know more how exactly Silicon Valley innovative companies create innovation today, join our online acceleration program, Innovative Transformation Blueprint. There, you can learn about best practices of corporate innovation of Silicon Valley companies, firsthand from their experts, managers, and specialists. You can ask your questions and get practical advice. You can hear stories of real innovation that succeeded and stories of innovation that failed. You can learn how corporations of Silicon Valley work together with startups today and what are the lessons that Silicon Valley corporations have learned from startups. Silicon Valley has a long history of both angel and venture investment. Venture capital fueled growth of Silicon Valley since its first years, but those were mostly funds from high net worth individuals. However, a pension reform from 1970 allowed venture capitalists to raise institutional funds, and that was a trigger for venture capital growth in the Bay Area. You probably heard of Sand Hill Road, a historic place of Silicon Valley where the most of venture capital firms are concentrated. The second after Sand Hill Road epicenter of venture capital in Silicon Valley is San Francisco. The city of San Francisco technically isn't Silicon Valley, however it plays a huge role in the region as the main cultural and business center. Today, many VC offices and headquarters of tech companies are based in San Francisco, while their engineering facilities are often located in Silicon Valley. There is definitely a more vivid social life and more things to do for the young people in San Francisco today compared to the suburban Silicon Valley. San Francisco has also a remarkable amount of homeless people, as you might notice walking on the streets of San Francisco during the day. It makes San Francisco an only city in the world where the richest and the poorest coexist in such a close proximity. By the late 1990s, Silicon Valley was experiencing the so-called dot-com boom, the era of websites and software, the explosion of popularity of first internet companies. It was a new gold rush for America. The companies that originated from dot-com boom were famous: Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Salesforce, Zynga, and others. Just like after the latest shared economy or Uberization boom, a world has received companies such as Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, WeWork, and others. Silicon Valley is well known by the highest concentration of venture capital firms in one small location. According to the Global Startup Ecosystem ranking, Silicon Valley ranks the first in the world by the amount of venture deals, per capita amount of capital invested in startups, number of startups invested, average investors check, number of startups, and the number of successful exits. As we mentioned earlier, there are different types of investors in Silicon Valley. There are angel investors and angel groups, venture funds, private equity funds, family offices, corporate venture funds. Some startup accelerators can also invest. While venture capitalists invest into larger stage companies such as Series A, B, or C, bigger checks from $1 million to $50 million Angel investors of Silicon Valley support early-stage entrepreneurs and startups with smaller checks from $10K up to $500,000. Today in Bay Area, you can count over 50,000 angels and angel groups that invest in early-stage startups. Among the top venture funds of Silicon Valley today, according to CB Insights, are Accel, Anderson and Horowitz, Benchmark Capital, Index Ventures, Sequoia Capital, Bessemer Venture Partners, Founders Fund, Lightspeed Ventures, Greylock Partners, General Catalyst, Founders Fund, First Round Capital, Khosla Ventures, Baseline Ventures, Lowercase Capital, and Bessemer Venture Partners. Investors can be different. Some can focus on certain sectors of technology and stages of companies. Others invest across different technology verticals and in different stages of startups. Later VCs, beyond giving money, can also assist companies with recruitment, operations, marketing, and introductions to corporate clients. Silicon Valley Startups is the salt of Silicon Valley. Smart, driven, resourceful Silicon Valley entrepreneurs are creating the future today. Entrepreneurship here is a state of mind. Silicon Valley entrepreneurs are dreamers and doers. Entrepreneurs here create products that change the world. Their innovations are disrupting whole industries and markets. They are building the companies that will become role models and will impact the world in so many ways. It's easier and faster for startups to scale from Silicon Valley than from anywhere else in the world. The brightest, most talented engineers and coders come to Silicon Valley today from all corners of the world to start companies of their dreams and to become the next unicorn. Silicon Valley way of building a startup is very different. It is very different in a way how startups here identify opportunities, how they target their customers, how they scale to global market. One of the unique factors that facilitates success in Silicon Valley is a close proximity of potential customers to those startups. And that allows a startup to better understand their target market and to validate their product faster. To learn how to raise capital from Silicon Valley investors, join our online acceleration program, Silicon Valley Hacking Startup Bootcamp, where you can learn how to build your startup, how to prepare your pitch deck, how to pitch a Silicon Valley investor, how to build a successful global company, how to prepare your startup for angel and venture funding. And also, you will be able to get mentoring advice for your company and pitch real Silicon Valley investors with your project online. And all that just one click away from where you are. There are plenty of support systems for a startup in Silicon Valley. Other important members of Silicon Valley ecosystem of innovation are accelerators and incubators that provide support to early stage companies and help them find connections, provide guidance and mentoring. Some of them provide space and offices. You can network and meet other entrepreneurs to share your experience and to ask for advice. And accelerators also connect you with potential investors. Early stage accelerators and incubators in Silicon Valley are companies such as 500 Startups, Techstars, Y Combinator, Alchemist, Founders Institute, Boot Up Ventures, AngelPad, Founders Floor, Founders Space, many others, and of course, Mission to Mars Academy. A useful resource can be NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center, where you can get a lot of educational opportunities and informational resources for your company. What is the difference between incubator and accelerator? Incubators usually help early stage companies on a concept stage, while accelerators help existing businesses to get better product market fit, better tractions, grow and scale their business. Accelerators provide networking opportunities to startups. They provide mentors. Some of them invest small amounts of capital, do introductions to investors, and connect with community of entrepreneurs. There are also plenty of corporate accelerators in Silicon Valley that help corporations create innovative solutions and also connect them with startups. Among corporate accelerators are Rocket Space, Plug and Play Tech Center, Boot Up Ventures, GSV Labs, and many others. Other important ecosystem elements are co-working spaces where startups work together, they meet, they partner up. Co-working spaces create a vibrant community of international entrepreneurs that are key to successful innovation. Among popular co-working spaces in Silicon Valley are such places as WeWork, Bespoke, Spaces, Galvanize, and many others. Other important players of Silicon Valley ecosystem of innovation are service providers, such as banks and legal services for startups. Among successful lawyers that help startups sign contracts with investors are DLA Piper, Perkins Coie, and Silicon Valley Bank that also provides banking services to foreign and international entrepreneurs. You might want to check out other legal consulting services that are available. So we've looked at the main stakeholders of Silicon Valley ecosystem and decoded the main ingredients of Silicon Valley's secret sauce of innovation. And those ingredients are education and knowledge, talent and competition, funding and governmental support, collaboration between different stakeholders of innovative ecosystem, and multiple institutions that support entrepreneurs. And the last, but not the least, and the most important ingredient of Silicon Valley's secret sauce of innovation is its culture and its unique mindset of innovation. They say Silicon Valley is not a destination, it is a mindset. What is this unique mindset and culture of local companies and entrepreneurs that help them become so successful, that makes this place so unique? What makes Silicon Valley a Silicon Valley? Are you ready to dive deeper? Silicon Valley has its unique approach to creating, growing, and scaling companies in order to create a highly impactful and profitable businesses. Silicon Valley entrepreneurs have mastered the art of company building. Silicon Valley mindset is all about experimentation and execution. It is okay to fail here, but people don't come here to fail. It is also competition that drives innovation in Silicon Valley. Sometimes you just need some luck and the right moment to succeed. Sharing, networking, and collaboration are the key elements of Silicon Valley unique culture of innovation. Here, startups can find unprecedented support from various systems among multiple accelerators, incubators, communities of entrepreneurs, investor groups, who can not just give them money, but also provide guidance, advice, referrals, recommendations, and helpful feedback. Networking events, meetups, conferences, seminars happen here non-stop in every corner of Silicon Valley, and lots of potential partnerships and collaboration opportunities arise. Silicon Valley is truly a paradise for startups. Whether your startup is at the earliest ideation stage or it's moving towards a minimal viable product, you definitely want to get plugged into so many resources in San Francisco Bay Area that are offered to tech-focused startups. And those resources can be extremely valuable, from social connections to funding to mentoring and support for your company from many institutions offered by this area. Since San Francisco and Silicon Valley are the centers of tech world, they are overloaded with opportunities and informational support for founders and entrepreneurs that come from different countries. Of course, it's not too easy to navigate the landscape of all those events, networking opportunities, meetups, co-working spaces, accelerators, and more. So we would suggest to start with a few online resources such as eventbrite.com and meetup.com, where you can find the lists of events that can match your technology interests or other needs. Silicon Valley is a world where your startup success can be boosted by just an introduction from the right person you can meet in one of those startup meetups. So it is crucially important for Silicon Valley entrepreneurs to network, share, meet each other, and collaborate. And this is the only path to success in Silicon Valley. Connections that founders make at meetup events can lead to new startup partnerships, hiring opportunities, and meeting investors. Among popular startup communities of Silicon Valley are many meetups such as Hackers and Founders, Silicon Valley New Tech, Girls in Tech, Girls Who Code, Silicon Valley Young Professionals, and thousands of other networking groups and meetups for tech entrepreneurs. You can search online for startup meetups. You can look at Facebook and LinkedIn groups. Connect with other entrepreneurs at popular conferences such as TechCrunch or Startup Grind. Other useful resources include AngelList, Crunchbase, VentureBeat, TechCrunch, and plenty of online groups. Numerous events and meetups in Bay Area create plenty of opportunities for the newcomer startups to plug in into Silicon Valley ecosystem immediately. You can even save some money by living in a co-living place with many other foreign startups in places like hacker houses or startup houses. There are plenty of them in the Bay Area. Attend smaller events and bigger conferences such as Silicon Valley Forum, Startup Grind, and who knows, maybe you'll meet your dream investor right away. If you want to learn how to network right in Silicon Valley, join our workshop Networking in Silicon Valley as a part of Silicon Valley Hacking Startup Bootcamp online acceleration program. And to summarize, what are the main ingredients of Silicon Valley's secret sauce of innovation? And those are access to capital, education and talent, innovative infrastructure, support systems for entrepreneurs, and that include accelerators, incubators, co-working spaces, and so on. A very special legislation to support entrepreneurs. Interconnection and collaboration between all the elements of this innovative ecosystem and all the stakeholders. And the main ingredient, innovative culture and innovative mindset. And what is innovative mindset and innovative culture? These elements, I think, are key to understanding what innovative mindset is all about. And those are openness, sharing, collaboration, passion to change the world, constant experimentation, inspiring work environment, focus on your customer, new models of leadership and management, agile business processes, resource and cost efficiency, productive teamwork, readiness to change and disrupt, risk-taking, praising of failure, readiness to fail, ability to learn lessons from your mistakes, success orientation and future orientation, high competitiveness, constant improvement and change, and serial entrepreneurship as a dream career. And what are the lessons that all companies can learn from Silicon Valley startups? Those are new methodologies how to create innovation, lean startups, Scrum, and many others, how to experiment and create new solutions, visions, and new products,
how to listen to your customer and foresee the trends in order to create new markets. You can learn agile product development and design thinking. You can learn collaboration, partnering, and teamwork. You can learn user experience, how to be focused on your client in order to better understand clients' needs and beat your competition. You can learn how to be connected with your customers, your investors, partners, stakeholders in order to be more efficient. How to create innovation fast. Build your minimal viable product. How to fail fast and learn on your mistakes. How to pivot. How to create cost-efficient innovation. How to take risks and handle uncertainty. You can learn from startups how to stay motivated and resilient when things are not going right. You can learn how to build and grow innovative companies from just an idea to IPO. You can learn how to navigate the future and succeed in the times of technological revolutions. And most importantly, you can learn how to be a dreamer and change the world.
So that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me today. Today, we've learned about Silicon Valley's unique culture of innovation and its ecosystem. I hope you enjoyed the seminar, and I hope you continue exploring Silicon Valley by attending our on-site tours, programs, seminars, and workshops. You will be able to meet the world's most known technology companies and visit disruptive startups, meet its founders and fellow entrepreneurs, have meaningful discussions with technology leaders about the future of tech and what it means for your business. Join Mission to Mars Academy for our Silicon Valley innovation tours and programs where you will be able to take a sneak peek inside companies' innovative culture, to network with fellow entrepreneurs, and take a look at behind the scenes of Silicon Valley world of technology. To continue learning more about innovation, join our online acceleration programs to get future ready and become the next unicorn and the next technology leader of tomorrow. And remember, innovation is not something that happens overnight. Innovation is something that you create. And future does not just come to you. You have to build your future in order to make it happen. Come and learn together with our experts how to build a better future for yourself, for your company, for your team, and for your country, and become a true Silicon Valley innovator, together with Mission to Mars. We are always here to support your innovative growth and transformation. The future is here. It's time to get future ready and join Mission to Mars. We look forward to continue working with you in the future. It was Tatiana and Indina and Mission to Mars Academy. We can't wait to meet you again online or in Silicon Valley.